Hey everyone and welcome. Today we're kicking off an amazing adventure, a real quest into the world of wild bird photography. And listen, we're going to skip the boring technical stuff. Think of this as your personal field guide to capturing some of nature's most incredible and yeah, sometimes tricky creatures.
So I know exactly what you're probably thinking. Wild bird photography, it just seems so hard, right? Maybe even a little intimidating. You see those jaw-dropping photos online and you think, there is no way I could ever do that. And you know what? That's totally fair. Birds are fast, they're skittish, and they definitely don't hold a pose for you.
But here's the secret. The real payoff, the real prize isn't just getting the perfect photo. It's the experience itself. It's about being there, quietly, and seeing these fleeting moments. A flash of color, a parent feeding its chick, the incredible power of a bird taking flight. You're capturing a little piece of vibrant life that most people just walk right by. And that feeling? That's everything. Okay, so every good quest starts with gathering your gear. But don't worry, this is not about running out and buying a ton of expensive stuff. We're just putting together our adventures kit, focusing on the absolute essentials to get you out there and started.
Let's start with one very important number, 300 millimeters. If there's one tool that's going to be your best friend, this is it. A telephoto lens with at least this much zoom lets you fill your entire picture with the bird, getting all those amazing details, without having to creep so close that you scare it away. It's basically your magic window into their world.
All right, next up is a term that sounds super technical, but I promise it's simple. The F number, or f-stop. Just think of it like this. It's how big the window is that lets light into your camera. The smaller the number, like f2.8 or f4, the wider that window opens. And a bigger window means more light, which is absolutely crucial for getting bright, clean photos when birds are most active, at sunrise and sunset.
And check this out. This is where that F number becomes your creative superpower. See the difference here? A low F number doesn't just make the image brighter, it does something magical to the background. It just melts it away into this beautiful, soft blur. That's the secret sauce that makes the bird literally pop right out of the photo. It's how you get that professional portrait look. Okay, gear? Check. Now we get to the second part of our training. And honestly, this might be the most important part of all. It is time to learn the art of invisibility. It's time to become a fieldcraft ninja.
So what's the ninja's code?
Well, first, you gotta be a detective. Learn your bird's routine. Where do they eat? Where do they hang out? Usually it's early morning or late evening. Then, when you move, do it slowly, deliberately. Use trees, bushes, anything you can to break up your human shape. And seriously, silence is everything. Even something as small as the zip from your jacket can be enough to spook every bird in the area. And all of this leads to the ultimate ninja technique. I call it bird waiting. See, instead of chasing the birds, you let them come to you. Find a spot you know they like, a particular branch, a small puddle they use as a bird bath. Then you just get comfortable, settle in, and wait. Honestly, patience is your best tool out here. Eventually, the birds just kind of forget you exist and go back to their normal, amazing lives right in front of your lens.
Okay, so you're in position. You're invisible. A bird just landed on the branch right where you hoped it would. Your heart is pounding. So now what? Now it's time to master the camera settings that let you freeze that perfect, fleeting moment in time.
Here it is, the #1 challenge, the classic problem we all face when we start. Birds are just ridiculously fast. Even a slight turn of the head can happen in a flash. If you use your camera's normal settings, you're almost guaranteed to get a blurry, fuzzy, kind of disappointing photo. The solution is simple. You have to be faster. You need to crank up your shutter speed. Think of it as telling your camera to take the picture in the blink of an eye. A great place to start is 1/500th of a second. If a bird is flying, you'll want to go even faster. This is what stops motion dead in its tracks and gives you those incredibly sharp, detailed images. But as with everything, there's a trade-off. Remember our window of light? Well, a super fast shutter speed means that window opens and slams shut almost instantly. So not a lot of light can get in. This can leave you with a photo that's way too dark, especially in that beautiful morning or evening light. And the fix for that is the third piece of our puzzle, ISO. Just think of ISO as a way to digitally brighten your photo after the light comes in. And please, don't be afraid to raise it. Modern cameras are absolutely amazing at handling higher ISOs. Starting at 400 or 800 is a perfect way to balance out that fast shutter speed and get an image that is both sharp and perfectly bright. All right, the final technical piece is focus.
because a photo really lives or dies by its focus. If a bird is sitting still, use what's called single-point autofocus and put that little point right on the bird's eye. The eye is everything. If it's sharp, the whole portrait feels alive. If the bird is flying all over the place, switch over to a tracking mode, and your camera will do the heavy lifting of trying to follow it for you.
Yes, you got the shot. But hold on, our quest isn't quite over yet. You see, taking the picture is really only half the journey. The other half is where we get to add the art, the soul, and turn a really good snapshot into a truly great photograph.
Let's talk composition, how you arrange the photo. It's so simple, but it makes a huge difference. Try not to stick the bird right in the dead center. Put it off to the side. And here's a pro tip. Always leave a little empty space in the direction the bird is looking. It just gives the photo room to breathe. And of course, if the background's all cluttered with branches and leaves, use that low F number to just melt it all away.
And last but not least, don't be afraid to polish your photo a little bit in a software program. Now, this isn't about creating something fake. It's about enhancing the magic that was already there. A tiny boost to the brightness, a little more contrast, or a touch of sharpness can bring out the stunning, intricate details in the feathers. It just makes the whole image sing. You know, after all the talk about lenses and settings and ninjas, this is what it really boils down to. Some days you're going to come home with a memory card full of amazing photos, and some days you won't. But every single time you go out there, you get an encounter with the wild. Treasure that moment, that connection. That is the real trophy.
So let's do a super quick recap of our quest. For gear, a long lens is your best friend. For fieldcraft, patience and ninja skills are key. For settings, just remember the magic formula. Fast shutter plus a higher ISO equals sharp photos. And most important of all is your mindset. Respect nature and just enjoy being out there.
So with all this, you're not just a person with a camera anymore. You're an explorer. You're totally ready to go out and see the world in a whole new way. So the only real question left is, what amazing thing will be your first discovery?